For some time now, there's been what Nigerians have tagged waste war in Lagos State. This was after the Lagos State government introduced a foreign private company into the waste management system. The existing parties, who are now waste collection operators, had to adjust to the change. But even till now, there are still negotiations on the roles to the parties involved. Let's talk about this on Big Story. I'm Ini John Mekwa. A representation of the 365 members that make up the Association of Waste Managers of Nigeria. They've been responsible for the collection of waste in Lagos State in the last 20 years. They say they've invested over 50 billion naira in the business of carting waste from residential and commercial premises. One of them, who is also a waste management consultant, has grown with the system through the years.
Well, the system was just a house-to-house waste collection, whereby the PSP are engaged because, of course, waste has gone beyond, it's no longer a social service. Now, the private sector, it's a PPP arrangement, Public-Private Partnership, and that brought in the PSPs, who were collaborating with the Lagos State government to cut away the waste from the doorstep of the waste generators and then transport it to the disposal facility, whether the landfill site. Of course, there is no landfill site in Lagos State, but we have dump sites. And then at a stage, His Excellency Mr. Raji Fashola built some transfer loading stations, TLSs, one at Agege, one at Simpson, and then another one at Oshodi. And then there also came on board a material recovery facility, which was also a private, investment. And these were all improvements, in the waste management in Lagos State. If you know where we're coming from, people were doing indiscriminate dumping all over, the roads were blocked and all that, and waste are not being picked until the involvement of the private sector. And this has worked. And the system also involved the introduction of waste bins into the doorstep of the people. The initial thing was to use a one-bin system, whereby all waste are commingled and then they were collected. We were to move from one-bin system to move into two-bin system. What two-bin system simply means is that the waste that hitherto has been commingled will now be separated into two major components of waste, which is organic and inorganic. The inorganic are meant for recycling, while the organic will go for composting, which is the organic fertilizer. The plan, also the blueprint, was also to develop, to move further to a three-bin system, a four-bin system, just like you have abroad, And this is when you begin to separate plastic from bottles, from aluminiums, from all kinds of... These were geared to encourage waste sorting from the source. You sort the recyclables, and I mentioned the recyclables, initially two-bin system, organic and inorganic, or what you call dry waste, and then the wet waste. These were to encourage the waste being sorted at the doorstep of the waste generator. And once waste are sorted into different recyclables, of course, the sorted waste, instead of looking at them as a waste, they become a resource to you that you can even make money from it. That is the coinage of waste to wealth. Your waste will turn into some element of wealth onto you, even though it brings in a little return. And then when the waste are collected, they are taken to recycling facilities, which started springing up in Lagos. And then the waste were turned into resource, and this resource was sold to bring in some wealth. And that was the way, that was why we have the MRF at Solus.
This disruption in the existing system is what the waste collection operators and most Nigerians agree is responsible for the unfavorable state of environment in the state. Most Lagosians agree that the state seems to be losing its shine as the dirts are back on the streets and waste bins are not duly carted. The arrangement that came from the introduction of the foreign private company was that the former PSP operators, now called waste collection operators, would cast waste from commercial premises, while the new company deals with residential. After some months, Lagosians were not satisfied with the consequences of the arrangement, and they complained of unsatisfactory level of cleanliness in the state.
Visionscape, the state government, and the waste collection operators were all working together to achieve a cleaner and healthier environment. What Lagosians have been hearing on the social media and other media houses about what is going on between the waste collection operators, the Visionscape. You see, we, as a listening government, right? His Excellency has been, listening to the yearning of Lagosians, and he has called for the stakeholders meeting, and we've been meeting different stakeholders on this issue on how to ensure that we have a better environment for Lagosians, right? What I mean by this is the stakeholders. We've been meeting with the market women, meeting with the CDC, the community development committees. We've been meeting with the civil societies, and we've been meeting with the NGOs, landlord and tenant association, to fine-tune a way forward to ensure that we have a cleaner environment in Lagos. But people have been misunderstanding what has been on ground. What was on ground before was that the waste collector operators were given the opportunities to be cutting away the commercial premises. You see, we have about 16,000 commercial premises in Lagos, right? And in the past, we were able to identify only 7,400. What about the 8,600 premises, the gap? So the government now say, okay, you guys are capable of doing all this. Go and be doing this, all right? While Visionscape and Visionscape to be picking up the residential